Hello everyone, it's me Josh again, and today I have something a little different for you guys. I'm doing a tier list video, but I've decided that I'm just going to rank things based off how I like them today. Because as much as I enjoy ranking things as a fun stipulation, like, ooh, here I rank all the Gen 1 Pokemon, but based off how I think they taste, I kind of just want to do something just a bit more relaxed, a little less, having to try and fit this weird criteria I've given to myself. I'm not going to stop making those videos. I think I'm going to still continue. But just for this week, I thought I'd change it up and just do a nice little ranking video of all the Gen 1 Pokemon, not the Gen 1 Pokemon, of all the starter Pokemon, based off of how much I just like them. So the way we're going to do this today is I am going to be looking at the whole line as I rank these. So when I put Bulbasaur in, it's going to be looking at like Bulbasaur, Ivysaur, and Venusaur all together. So not just the first forms, even though that's what we see here. But yeah, and then we're going to rank them by best, great, good, okay, meh, and bad. So let's just hop right into it. Bulbasaur honestly is great. Bulbasaur gets a lot of flack. He's usually the least popular of the first three Gen 1 Pokemon, but I really like him. I haven't used him much. I've only played through, I think, one. I played through Fire Red once with him. I like how his bulb becomes like the little flower about to bloom with Ivysaur, and then it blooms, of course, with Venusaur. I think that looks really cool. He's definitely not my favorite of the Gen 1 Pokemon, but I'm a fan of that whole line. Next we have Charmander, and I gotta be honest with you guys, I was one of the almost every kid who picked Charmander over the other two. Charizard's just the best. I hate to be somebody who just gives in to the popular thing, but I always picked Charmander as a kid. He was my favorite. The first time I ever beat Fire Red, I soloed it with a Charizard because I thought the starter was just the best. So I only used my starter, and I managed to beat Fire Red with just Charizard. I think he was like level 80 by the time I got through it, but yeah. So the whole line's great. Honestly, all the Gen 1 Pokemon have really good middle evolution stages. Like Ivysaur, Charmeleon, and Wartortle are all really solid, and they look good, even if they are supposed to be kind of that awkward stage. So for that reason, all three of them are going to end up on the higher end. Also just nostalgia, because of course my first Pokemon game was Fire Red, so of course these guys get to go pretty high up. Squirtle I'm also going to put in great, and honestly I think I'm going to put him above Bulbasaur. I hate to put Bulbasaur at the bottom of these three, but I gotta do it. Back when Gen 6 came out, the first time through I picked up a Charmander because I wanted to use a Mega Pokemon, and so I used Mega Charizard. And the second time I played through X and Y, I used Squirtle because I figured I'd use something different. So if I ever go back to X and Y, I'll use Bulbasaur next time. But until then, he's just gonna have to hang out there. But they're both great, so they're gonna hang out there. Next is Johto Pokemon. We have Chikorita, who honestly I was not a huge fan of, but Chikorita has grown on me, and for that reason I'm going to put her in okay. It's honestly the Mystery Dungeon games. I remember the last time I played through Red Rescue Team, I picked Chikorita as my partner because I wanted a grass type, and I don't know, it made me like the Pokemon more, even though when you play through that game, whatever partner you pick has all the exact same dialogue. But yeah, I like Chikorita. I like Chikorita's evolution line because it does feel like a good progression. It doesn't get too weird or anything. So for that reason, I really like it, and it can go into good. Cyndaquil, I think I'm also going to put into good, but just above Chikorita. Because Cyndaquil's evolutionary line doesn't change a lot, it kind of just gets bigger. And also they really kind of butchered Typhlosion in the 3D games, getting rid of its little fire around it. So I kind of like it less, actually, in later games than I do in the earlier ones. But I still really like it. Yeah, Fire type I think is probably my favorite of these three types. Although you'll see we get a few more water ones as we keep going. Speaking of water ones, Totodile is great. Totodile's my favorite of the Johto ones. He's going to go at the top of great. I really liked his personality in the anime. He was always really funny to me as a kid, and I really liked him. I will admit, Croconaw, what Totodile evolves into, does not look too great, but Feraligatr brings it back for me and looks pretty cool in my opinion. He was the one I used first when I first played through Heart Gold. He's that good combination of cute and cool, whereas the other two are kind of more on the cute side. There's nothing wrong with that. It was just I always thought Totodile was neat. Also, just crocodiles are a cool animal to me, so that helped him out a lot. Now we get to Gen 3, and I'm going to be honest, Gen 3, in my opinion, has the best starter trio out of any generation, bar none. They're all very good. I think they're all going to go in great or best, to be honest. Starting with Trico, I'm going to put him right there in great. Trico also has a really good evolutionary line. I keep saying that, trust me, they won't all be as good. But his is a real good progression. In a lot of ways, Grovyle is actually cooler than Sceptile, I'd say. Especially if you played the Mystery Dungeon games, you know why. In the anime, he was super cool because Ash had him. When he evolved into Grovyle, he was great. It's just a cool Pokemon. Then he also has a Mega Evolution, Grass Dragon, which is pretty cool. Super weak to Ice, but neat, which I always liked. So yeah. Next is Torchic, who of course evolves into Combuskin, and then Blaziken. And I like it a lot, but I think I'm going to put it at the bottom of great, just because it is, I feel it's a little overrated. I always thought it was weird back in X and Y when they released like, oh, there's Mega Blaziken, but then did nothing with Trico or Mudkip. So it was a little weird, and he's alright. He's actually not my favorite firefighting starter, but we'll get to that soon enough. But I do like it. Torchic's cute. I always liked it in the anime as well. But not too much to say. I've used one. They're cool. They're fun. But the best one, bar none, is Mudkip. Mudkip's line I like a lot. I like Marshtomp, I like Swampert, but just look at Mudkip. This is not the best picture of Mudkip that this tier list could have gone with, but they are just the cutest thing in the world. Water Ground is a great type, as long as you're not up against a grass type. And I've just always really loved it. Emerald was my second game I played, like the second Pokemon game I played. And I went with Mudkip every time. Also because it was just useful because I had a water type to surf around with. Because, you know, it's a whole bunch of water in Hoenn. But I love Mudkip. I'm going to spoil this for you guys. That he's the top. he's the best of the best. And he's going to stay right there. Him and his whole evolutionary line. Gen 4. Turtwig is good. I like Turtwig. He is good. I like his once again, I like the progression of his evolutionary line. Grotle and then Torterra both look really cool. I really like how Torterra looks with the whole tree on its back thing. But I'm trying to think if I've ever actually beaten a Gen 4 game with one. I know I've used one, but I don't know if I played all the way through or not. I think I might have. Gen 4 is a weird one that I don't remember playing a whole lot. But I like Turtwig. He's cute. His whole evolutionary line looks cool. He can go there. Chimchar is going to best. Honestly, I'm going to put him above Charmander. Chimchar was always my favorite. Fire Monkey, great. Bulbasaur Monferno, even better. Infernape, one of the best. One of the best final evolutions of all these ones. Honestly, I probably like Infernape more than I like Swampert for final evolution, but I like Mudkip more than Chimchar, so I'm going to give it to Mudkip. But Infernape is great. I've just always liked its design. I thought it looked cool. The whole Chimchar arc in the anime too. Once we get to Gen 5, my opinions on the anime stop because I stopped paying attention. But Chimchar is one of the best arcs in the anime, which helped him out a lot. Plus, he's just a cool kid. He's just a cool monkey. I almost said kid, which I guess you could say kid. I don't know. Piplup I like. Piplup I like. But I don't think I've ever... I'm more certain I've never used a Piplup than I am a Turtwig. So, for that, I think I'm going to put him down there. I'm not as big a fan of Empoleon as I am the other two. Even Prinplup's kind of a bit more of that awkward sort of looking middle stage. But Piplup itself is very cute. I do really like Piplup. It's just the other two I kind of lose interest in. In fact, you know what? I might even put it below Chicory. You know what? I did not think I'd put Piplup there. But Piplup will go at the top of okay. Sorry, Piplup. I've never been a big fan. Now we have Gen 5. And if Gen 3 was like the best trio, Gen 5 is like the most okay trio. Because honestly, none of these three I love. I don't hate any of them, but I definitely don't love any of them. The first time I played through White, I used a Snivy because I didn't want to use Tepig, because I thought Tepig was dumb because it was once again firefighting, so I avoided it. And Oshawott was okay. but I picked Snivy because really, once again, I've never used that many grass types. As you can see, grass kind of falls a little flat for me. So I thought I'd try out a Snivy for a change as my first go around. And I think I'm just going to put it in okay. Because I gotta be honest, it's not... I don't know, I just never found any of the Gen 5 starters to be that amazing. Snivy's evolutionary line looks good, but it kind of like... It's weird that it loses its arms, I think. It just becomes a snake. I don't know. It's just not for me. And Tepig, like I said, the firefighting thing bugged me, but I have used one since then, and I think he's my favorite of the three, but even then, I'm still not that big a fan. So I'll put him there. And like the whole evolution line with like Tepig, Pignite, and Emboar, they look good. The progression's nice. The shiny is really cool on Emboar. That's one I will give it. But once again, it wasn't one that just really resonated with me. I just didn't think it was that cool. And Oshawott, honestly, if it weren't for Oshawott's final evolution, I think Oshawott would have been my favorite, but I'm not a huge fan of Samurott. In fact, I think I'm gonna put... See, if it was just Oshawott, he'd go higher up, but because I'm looking at the whole line, I'm gonna put him in meh. Because Oshawott to Dewott, great. Dewott to Samurott, I don't like it. It just feels weird to me. Maybe I'm sure you can find a reason as to why it looks the way it does, but for me at least, it just felt too far off from where we were to really resonate with me. So for that reason, Oshawott's line has to go into meh. Now we've made it to Gen 6. And you may say, Josh, you haven't put anything in bad yet. I'm going to put something in bad in this gen. It's not going to be Chespin though, because Chespin, believe it or not, is my favorite of these three. Chespin can go right there. I really like Chespin. I thought Chestnut was really cool too. Quilladin's a little weird, but he's kind of cute still, I think, in his little like ball form. His little like ball shape. But yeah, I don't know, Chestnut for me, or Chespin for me, when I first saw the three of them, I'm like, I like that one the most. Which is weird, because I feel like that Chespin might honestly be one of the most underrated ones. I feel like you never ever hear people talk about Chespin. It's always, oh, Greninja's amazing, and Delphox is trash. I do not care one bit about Fennekin. Braixen looks alright, but the Delphox, I just don't find it interesting at all. I can't even really explain it, to be honest. It's just too bad, because as you see, the fire Pokemon usually do pretty well for me. But this one, no. And there's going to be another one later that is also a no for me. And I've played through the game with a Fennekin. I have not actually played through the game with a Froakie, because I don't know, I felt like Greninja got really overrated. And if I'm being honest, I'm probably going to put Greninja into meh. I'll leave him at the top probably. But Froakie too, I just didn't care. And I thought everybody was hyping up Greninja. And this is going to be a weird thing I'm going to mention. But I remember Greninja's hidden ability is Protean, I think it's called. Which basically makes it that whenever he uses a move, it changes his type to that move. And at least for me, it just seemed weird to give a starter Pokemon an ability that lets it change its type. Even though, yeah, it is his hidden ability, so you're not going to get it very often. Like, you'll have to work to find it even. But I just did not like that idea that he was that good. And I never used one. And I've still never used one. And I probably won't ever use one. Maybe when they one day remake Gen 6, I'll finally give Froakie a chance. And also the whole Ash Greninja thing, like, it was their way of giving Froakie special attention, or Greninja special attention, and I was like, it just seemed weird. I don't know. I know people love the Gen 6 anime. I've heard great things about it. I've watched that Ash lose the final. His Greninja loses to a Charizard. How? I don't know. But yeah, I guess if I had to say the worst trio, I think I'd say Gen 6 in my opinion. If you like them, that's great. Just for me, I don't know. But let's move on to one that I like a little bit better. Gen 7. Now, if I was ranking Rowlet by himself and not the whole line, he'd probably go right beside Mudkip. But I am looking at the whole line, so I'm going to put him at the bottom of best instead. Because this is another weird thing about me. I don't like when Pokemon lose types. So Rowlet starts off, he's grass flying, then he evolves into Dartrix, who is still grass flying, and then he evolves into Decidueye, who loses the flying for Ghost. And I don't like that normally in game. I especially don't like when they do that with a starter. It just bugged me, and I like the design. It is a bit of a jump from Dartrix to Decidueye, but I think Decidueye looks great. I wish they would have gone with Decidueye for Smash instead of Incineroar, but whatever, it's fine. I'm over it. It's whatever. But I do love Rowlet. Rowlet, honestly, he's, like I said, he would be right beside Mudkip if we were just looking at the first forms, but because I'm looking at the line as a whole, I have to knock him down a little bit, but I do still love him to the ends of the earth. Litten, I like. Litten is good, but Litten is not great. I think I like Litten more than Cyndaquil, though. Incineroar is really cool. I think it's, what is it, Torracat is the middle one? I'm having a hard time remembering that one, but I do like Incineroar quite a bit. He's grown on me since I first saw them, but he's just not as good as Rowlet in my opinion. I do like Incineroar's sort of attitude, and I do like Incineroar in Smash. I think he's pretty cool, even if I think it should have been Decidueye. Incineroar was a good choice still. And then we get to Popplio. And Popplio, I've never used one. I used Rowlet on my first playthrough of Sun, and then I used Incineroar through my playthrough of Ultra Moon. I really don't like Popplio. I can't even really tell you why. In fact, I'll put him there. I don't know. I find him almost too happy. I don't know. And the Brionne, that middle one of the worst. One of the worst, like, part of a starter line ever. Primarina looks nice, I will give it that, but I never ended up using one. I'm just not a big fan of the first two, and I just never bothered, and I just don't like it. Which is too bad, because if you remember, if you're a long-time fan, and you watched my my first A Perfectly Normal tier list, I talk about how much I love seals. And Popplio is a seal, so you think I'd love it. But I like the whole circus aesthetic they're going for, but I just don't think it worked as well as it could have. And for that reason, Popplio's going right there. Now we have Gen 8. I've only played through Gen 8 once, so I've only used one of these guys. And it wasn't Grookey, but I still like Grookey, even if I feel his middle stage is real weird. But where am I going to put Grookey? I'm going to put Grookey... I'll put Grookey in good, because like I said, I've never played with one, and for that reason, I think I'll put him... I do like him though. I think he's cute. I like Rillaboom. He's pretty cool. You know, actually, yeah, that's the spot. That's where he'll go. Now we have Scorbunny, and I don't know, guys. I know people like Scorbunny. I'm not a fan. I don't know what it is either. It kind of falls in that Popplio term of being just, he seems too cheery. He kind of looks like a Digimon to me, which is another reason why I don't like him. I just don't like the vibe he gives off. He seems too cheery. I'm going to put him in meh. Like, I will say though, Raboot, I think, is the middle one. I like that one. That one's okay. And then Cinderace, I just don't really care for again. I don't know, it's just, I didn't like him when I first saw him, and I still didn't really care when I saw the evolved forms. And I'm just indifferent. I just don't really like it. I don't know why, but I'm not a fan of Scorbunny. And for that reason, if I do ever play through Gen 8 again, I'll probably use Grookey for a change. Because I played through Wasabel, and I was a little skeptical when I started playing Wasabel. Because I saw what Wasabel evolved into. I looked at the leaks and saw what it evolved into. And I was really uncertain about Inteleon. In fact, I almost went with Grookey instead. But I'll be honest, I love Sobble. Sobble he's so cute. And then he evolves into... Oh man, am I really not going to remember? Is this going to be the one that I don't even make an attempt at remembering the name of? Yeah, I don't remember what its second form is. I'll put it up on screen so you can all know what it is. But I can't remember it all. I'm going to Google it on my phone. Drizzile. Drizzile is the name of that Pokemon it evolves into. I'll be honest, when I played through Sword and Shield, I nicknamed all my Pokemon, so that's why I don't remember its name. But I do love it. Don't worry, even if I forgot its middle evolution's name. When I first saw Inteleon, I was really skeptical. Like, I saw it and I was like, I don't know. It seemed too thin almost and weird. But once I saw its signature move where it just does the finger guns and fires and hits, I was like, amazing. I made the right choice. And then when the DLC came out and I saw the Gigantamax form, which is literally a sniper rifle, like it goes up in a cloud, I was like, this is amazing. How did they do this? I think it's the best one. In fact, I'm gonna put him above not Charmander, but I'll put him above Rowlet. Once again, if I was looking at just the first forms, these would move a bit, but looking at the whole line, I'm gonna put Sobble right there. So there you have it. That's my personal opinion. I want to reiterate that. This is just my take on the starter Pokemon. A lot of them I really like. There's really only a couple I don't like. Which is also funny, I noticed, because I was talking about how really Grass never really ended up being my favorite. But Grass didn't end up being any I really hated either. They just all kind of fell in the middle, whereas a choice few Water and Fire fell short. But yeah, so there's my list. Let me know what your guys' favorite starter Pokemon is down below. And I will be back next week with, I think, another perfectly normal tier list. This is such a bad name for my show, because if I call the other one a perfectly normal tier list, what am I going to call this one? I'll probably just call this one ranking or something. But I'll be back with one of the more out there tier lists next week. But thanks for watching. Let me know what you think of these little more normal tier lists. If you like them, let me know. Maybe I'll do even more. But until then, I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.